Hi, everyone. Hi. Happy Sunday. In my cracker box. Doo-doo-doo. Hi, Patriot. How are you? How's New York? Can't imagine. It's a little chilly here today. I think it's like 50 or 40 or something like that. Cold. I'm sorry. Hey, Lizbeth. Hi, Kathy. Go Lions. I know. I hope they win. So I've tried to redact as much as possible. I was going to go over the Adelsons. We talked about Charlie Adelson trial. And tomorrow is the case management for Donna Sue Jacobs Adelson. Call her by her full name. I think it's funny she's Donna Sue. She tries to be all posh. Good evening, Jay. It's wet and rainy. Key West, really? It's sunny and dry here. Very, very dry. Hey, Anita, how are you? Yeah, well, I walk in a tee at 52. I just have the jacket on because it's chilly. It's actually chilly. We have a warehouse attached to our office, so I don't turn the heat on very much. So it's a little chillier here than it is outside. You have ice? We don't. I have ice in my freezer. I don't even eat ice. I don't even put ice in my drinks. That's how anti-ice I am. Like, I have a Diet Coke from McDonald's because I had points. I had to go to McDonald's today and use my points because I've all but given McDonald's up, which is really hard to do because they have the best Diet Coke, but I don't get ice. No ice for Patty. So I'm trying to redact as much as possible because, YouTube doesn't want you to, which still, like, if anybody understands, YouTube is owned by Google. Google drives up and down our streets and takes photos of every home on the street that if you don't go in and personally redact. But sometimes, like, I guess YouTube doesn't like the fact that addresses are shared. They think I'm doxing somebody. So I'm not doxing anybody. I'm just going to redact it. So I have that. And then if I have time, I have a couple of Alex Morris, who is co-counsel to Daniel Rashbaum, Donna's longtime attorney now. And our Alex Morris is his name, and he's going to be the co-counsel. And I actually spoke to someone with the murder that I was most aware of was Daniel Tappan is the convicted murderer in the case of Kimberly Tappan. And they were married. And I'll tell you the story about that one. But I spoke to a family member of Daniel Tappan. And I know how much he spent on Alex Morris. Well, there were two attorneys. So I don't know how much the other one costs. I'm going to check with her. Hey, Yank, how are you? Yeah, no one's familiar. It's just it happened in 2008. And it's just one I was familiar with. It was a strangulation versus a suicide. So he said it's like a suicide, and they said it was a strangulation. Well, I believe it was a strangulation. I was a realtor at the time, and I went in the house afterwards unknowingly. I didn't know that a murder had been committed in the house a short time before. So I saw the height of the closet. We'll talk about it, but it was a 2008 trial. And I just thought it was interesting to go over Alex Morris and some of the words he uses all the time. I think one of his favorite words is complicated. So be aware of him saying that in front of a jury for Donna Adelson is it's complicated. Everything's complicated. I don't think it's as complicated as he tries to say, but that's one of his favorite words, I swear, is complicated. Find old videos of him. It's complicated. It's a lot to think about. Very, very complicated. It's not that complicated. It's not. They were alive and now they're dead. So I don't know what the complication is for you, but you try to make it complicated for a jury, it's just not that complicated. The only thing I think is complicated and complex about the Adelson is that there's so many trials and so many people involved. So he'll say it, but I think he'll say it's complicated a lot in the next few months. Oh, thank you, Yank. It's very nice. How sweet. So it's very nice. So I have some of the properties, and I think I need your help because I figured out the Adelson family. Let me go to, I can't show the address, right? So I have to like, how do I do this? I'm going to present it and share a screen. I have to think about how I could do it without showing the address. I'll just take screenshots of it. I'll just take a screenshot of the photos and we'll go from there. But I think the house is very like Golden Girls, Brady Bunch-esque. So this is, I'll do it this way. This is the Adelson home. They bought it in 2001 and they sold it in 2015. So they didn't sell it in 2014. They actually listed it and sold it in 2000. I don't want to put the address on, but trying to hide the, damn, makes it so hard. They sold it in 2015. So that was, I don't want to give them any more business than they already get. So they sold it, they listed it in July and sold it in August 2015. Almost a year to the day. You can see the date here, May 11th, 2015. A year. So they sold this home. I have all these images. They sold the home for like $499. But if you recall, this is where it gets weird for me. If you recall, I'm gonna like hide addresses. If you recall, on Catherine and Wendy had already been down to the beach, right, before he was killed. So they were staying at the Icon, which is an Alton address, before that. And that address is, there's two of them. They were in the 1504 condo instead of the 2602. Wait, 1502. I'm so sorry. It's so confusing how many like freakish things this family has going on. Sorry, that was the other murder. So they had two properties. This is the 1504. This is the property that they went to originally. So Catherine goes and meets Wendy at the beach. This was the icon. This is where they lived. 1504. I like the pantry. Can you see it? I like that house too. I really like that. The original home, the childhood home right here. I like it. I think it's very pretty. This is a pretty house. So this is where they were raised. I love the wood grain. Like there's a lot to like about it, right? I just love this. There's a lot of drywall, but I love that. I just love it. That's the kitchen that she had. I mean, this is all Adelson stuff, right? Because this is from 2015. Can you see it? The bedroom, the dark carpet. I have to tell you, I have dark gray carpet in my bedroom. Look at the massaging chair. That's Harvey's massaging chair. Bathroom. Look at that old Kohler tub. His office. And then this is the back. Oh, they had a tennis court. The pool and a tennis court. The laundry room is lush. Workout room. That's a big house. Wow. They lived there for 15 years or so. I love that kitchen. Love it. So Brady Bunch-esque. The homes are possessed. Sunny says they put the tennis court butt up against the pool. Well, the lot's not very big, right? The lot was like, here's the street view. I'm trying to hide the address, people. I'm very sorry. So here's the street view. So it's really kind of unassuming. I don't think you realize, oh, there it is. Crap. I don't think you realize like how big it is. And then they move, for whatever reason, to the condo. Like, why were they in the condo? They were also landlords, but those are separate properties. Black Widow says they were also landlords, yes. The workout room, Sonny says the workout room is in the house because Charlie was hiding from disability claims lawyers and he didn't want to go to the gym. Are you serious? How did you find this out? Join a tennis club. Well, I have to tell you, here in Tallahassee, there's a couple families that have a tennis court attached to their home that have been up for sale. They provide no value at all. It's just such an over improvement. The tennis court was put in expressly for Charlie. Golly. I don't know. But according to True Lifestyles, I tried to invite her on, but I don't know if she saw. I don't know how to contact her. She doesn't have contact information, which is on her YouTube, so I don't know how to contact her. And I asked her, where did I put it, to come on, but I don't think she saw it. Because she said in the case files now have asked for the condo rental history. So they've asked for the copies of the leases. Carl knows her contact. Okay. So somewhere in the case file, it says that they have requested the Adelson condo rental leases, which I agree. So they rented this condo in Miami. This is the unit, the first unit they were in. Very simple, right? It was a very simple unit. It makes no sense to me, but I'm not a murderer and I've never planned a murder. So I can't really go back in time and figure out, oh, that's how murderers do it. Hey, Growler, how are you? I don't understand. I don't. So they go from all of that to this. I don't know. Oh, he's doing a live tonight at 8. Okay, well, I'll definitely be off there because I'm not going to be on that long. Robert got into tennis and later Charlie was a tennis instructor. Oh. Maybe that's how they know Rashbaum, because Rashbaum plays tennis too. They rent the condo because it was a quicker getaway. Oh, well, thank you, Growler. But I don't understand, like, I don't understand. I don't. And the mother, so in the Adelson mother's name, Elizabeth was her name. So Harvey's mother was Elizabeth. And Elizabeth address was one that was further, like, her address was the $14,000 one. Her address was the permit. That's how I found the address, was the permit on Trescott, because Wendy had to put a roof on prior to, and had to get some trusses repaired prior to selling the Trescott home. And when you can go back and look at the old permits, and I did, and that's where all this kind of started. But apparently, I can't be the only one looking at the permit. So they were in Pompano, and that house was 4,200 square feet. They sold it for about $500,000. I'd show you, but I can't because they'll just make me put this on Rumble. So they sold it for about $5,000. At some point, Betty, who's Harvey's mother, and Aaron could have possibly lived in the home at the same time. Hard to say. It's also very convoluted with these people. Everything was, I mean, to tell you, it's so hard to follow because they have a mortgage and then they put it in the trust. And it's not easy to put a mortgage property into a trust because it's harder for the bank to foreclose on a trust. So they have a mortgage, they buy a property, they put it in the trust, they take it out of the trust, they refinance it, they put it back in the trust. It's constant. It is a constant manipulation of property. Constant. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen. Well, that size house right now wouldn't go for gazillions, but this was 2015. So obviously with all the movement into Florida, Pompano is hopping. It's hopping right now. So let's see what Zillow says. I can't look it up like on air, unfortunately. I'm very sorry, but I got to play by YouTube's rules, which right now the Zillow on that, they sold it for $495. Was the 3-car garage. What's the estimate now? It's not coming up yet. It's not money laundering, but there's a correlation between Adelson being sued, Harvey being sued, and his refinance. Harvey's being sued and a refinance. With this home in Coral Springs, the home that we had earlier, he refinanced it, so he owed like $222. He refinances it for a little over $200. He settles a lawsuit and then he refinances it again. So he is pulling money out of this house and refinancing over and over and over. But a lot of it has to do with their lawsuits And there's a lot of lawsuits. So that Coral Springs, they don't have his estimate on there. Oh, that's Zillow. That's realtor.com. Hold on. 985 would be that house right now in Coral Springs. But there's a lot of lawsuits with your man Harvey, like a lot. He must have been a shit dentist. What was the laundry coins business Donna was talking about on the jail phone? Was the laundry business connected to their apartment business? They have an investment property. Let me show you. I just took a screenshot of the photos because I don't want to deal with it. This is a property that they own in Fort Lauderdale. I think it's 8 units. And this is how they present their listings, which is embarrassing to me. I would never do it. I hate when I make fun of people who list homes like this. The floor is sideways, right? The bathroom is upside down. It's cheap. They used a cell phone, and it drives me insane when realtors or property owners don't give a crap about their listing and list the home this way. But anyway, it was a rental, and it's hard to find how much they're getting in rent, but I will. I just didn't have time to finish it today. You don't understand real estate, but could it be some sort of money laundering? No, I think he was paying debt. I think he had settlements, which are private. You can't get a copy of it. So I think he had settlements to pay, Mr. Dentist man, and that's how it works. So I don't know how much cash he had on hand to be able to do what he did. But you'll notice, I could do that probably tomorrow or the next day. I have to get my nails done tomorrow. But I think you'll notice refinance settlement. I can look it up in official records and you can just see, hold on. Broward. But this is nothing to write home about, but there's no place for a laundry here. So they put in coin machines in the laundromat. That's why. Again, I don't know what they're going to allow. Close this out. So I'm going to close the legal up so it doesn't give an address. But you can see. So there was a deed transfer 1978. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to go down. So they buy. He had a list pendants here. See, this is light blue. That was his partnership. So they had a partnership, they had a building. List pendants means it's due to go into foreclosure. They've missed at least 3 payments. So that's what a list pendants is right here. Then there's a deed transfer, release, final judgment. So a final judgment from to, click on that one. That was a rental property. Someone defaulted on payment. So Harvey won that one. Here's a deed transfer for the Coral Springs property right here. And I can't show the address, so I have to look. They put it, let me turn it off and let me look at it because they're going to ding me. This was a deed. They sent it to themselves. So they buy this home in Coral Springs, 2000, and then they put it into a trust. They in and out. I'm telling you, that house is in and out of trust so many times. Then there's another deed transfer. Then there's an affidavit saying that the transfer's them. Then there's another deed transfer. Does this? I mean, the cost. Then they have it in a trustee's deed. It's over and over and over. Here's where they modify the mortgage on that Maplewood home. You can see it right here. Let me share it again. God, I'm so sorry. So right here, it's highlighted. They mortgaged with SunTrust for $252,700. That's the Maplewood house, which that's the neighborhood. It's in Coral Springs. Then they transfer. Let's go back to Maplewood. There's another transfer, separate deed transfer. This is where they take it out of the trust again and put it in the trust. See it here? It says Adelson Harvey J and then Adelson Harvey J TR. That means it's out of the trust and into the trust. It's constant. I've never seen anything like it. Ever. And then there's a lien out of the trust. Here it is, out of the trust again. You can see it, out of the trust, in the trust, out of the trust, in the trust. Constant. It is constant. Every year, they're running this thing out of a trust into a trust. I got to have my guy do some search on this. Then there's another affidavit right here, out of the trust, into the trust. Again, another one, out of the trust, into the trust, out of the trust. What the? So now, let's see. This is when he sells it. This is when he sells the Maplewood home, which is in Coral Springs, and they sell it August 25th, 2015. Daniel, of course, was murdered in his driveway and his garage in July 2014. So almost a year to the day, they sell this home. But before they sell it, remember, Catherine and Wendy testifies, she was at the Icon, which is on Alton Road, with Catherine at the beach. So they must have like rented a property as like their vacation home. Okay. Thank you, Yank. Yank says she tried to get me Wendy's ebook. I'm working on it myself, but I just don't want to pay for it. What about all the cash piles in the safe? Well, I believe they had cash, but I don't think they had like, say, $300,000 in cash sitting around. I just don't think so. But here's like, so what's his face? Here he is. Harvey's right here. There's no property sale in Harvey's name right before the murder. So it's 2012. Then they don't do anything until 2015. And this is, let me read this one. Let me take it off share just in case somebody's private information is on there. Who's Gary Crawford? Oh, they were plaintiffs. Again, he was sued and he settles. So right here, let me go back to sharing this. So right here, this guy sues Harvey. They settle it out 2015. There's no property transfers right before. They just at some point choose to rent at the icon. They don't own it. So they're throwing $7,000 to $10,000 a month in rent, maybe more, to rent to have a place to go in Miami. I don't know. The way they have huge bundles of money, this is your pile, this is that. Well, remember, she needed 25,000. So remember, Donna was like, can you move how 25,000 into this pile and that pile? How many lawsuits she asked? Let me see. Court papers. 1, 2, 5. He was sued 5 times between 1988 and 2015. So right after that, he must have. When did he retire his license and get in trouble? So here's 5. Voluntary dismissal, those were not. He probably settled them out, is my guess. This is his license page. He retired. Let's see, does it say when? So he had a discipline case. Same one. So this was 17. He had to pay $3,600 to investigate. Drop. That's all that is. 17. Administrative complaint, minimum standard of performance and diagnosis, showed a maximum probing of 9 millimeters. Patient rected, there was a treatment provided. Sites improving in the pocket. Preoperative radiographs are necessary to assist. So whatever he did, he jacked up somebody. I'm trying to figure it out, Sonny, where I could do it without showing addresses. They do have the best Diet Coke in the whole world. Do you know a patient who had their jaw broken by, do you know what year that was, Yank? Do we know what year the jaw break was? This lawsuit and this complaint was respondent failed to recognize the tooth stability in the bone and cease or alter his mode of treatment. This, her nerve, alveolar nerve that runs inside the mandible, was torn. As a result, permanent numbness of the lip and chin. So she's going to drool. An indemnity amount of $200,000 was paid to the patient. Did I look through the LLCs? I only had time between yesterday and today to do residential FIG. She's asking, do you look through the other LLCs he wasn't involved in that weren't properly related? I haven't yet. Tina says, does anyone know when Charlie getting his forever home? They said last week, Fancy Fiction said it would be a couple weeks. What else says, I used to work for an Upper East Side property management, white glove condos and co-ops, which people were constantly refinancing. I did refis on the same unit 3 times, but that's not cheap. The refinance, unless the lender is eating those closing costs, that's not cheap. Hey, Mona, I'm waiting for Patty's Playhouse to start crunching numbers. Oh. That's funny. There's no special places. He goes into a safe category space, right? Harvey lost money in 93 premium sales court scam, well known in Miami at the time. Premium sales corp scam. Oh, it was a grocery scam. Interesting. Is that normal for there to be so many deeds? Well, it's deed transfers. So every time a property transfers, whether it's out of bankruptcy, then it goes to, there's a trustee's deed because it's a bankruptcy trust. Then there's a trustee's deed for a house to go from a warranty deed, which is like I own a home, I don't have a trust. But if I were to buy a home and put it into a trust, then it now has a trustee's deed. So it's very unusual, in my opinion, to have such a small valued home. We'll put it that way, Woodell, where the value of the home is very small, to have it in and out of the deed transfer on a trust. That's very, the point of a trust is to keep it there, but he's in and out, in and out. Do we know what law firm handled all those transfers? No, but I can tell you. I have to take it off sharing though, I'll tell you. So when you look at a deed transfer at the top of the page, it tells you who the attorney is. So this is Weston Title and Escrow. And that was the Alton property. So at some point they bought that. Oh my God. So I have to look at that. Riverside. When they sold their home, the Maplewood home, which is the Coral Springs, that was a different attorney. His last name was Trinkler. Then there's someone, oh, this guy, the quit claim on Harvey's University Drive property in Tamarack is the same law office that handled the short sale. So he uses a variety, but that one attorney, Rumor, RUMORE, First United Title and Escrow, has handled a couple of them. Investment property, which is on Miramar Beach. A couple of them. They spread the wealth, but there are a couple that are repeats. Do you think the IRS or FBI will scrutinize? I do. I think over time they will. I don't think it's, I think the criminal side of this can hold off the IRS if they want to. Transactions are costly to file, and you do need an attorney. I mean, you could sell a home yourself, but you still have to record it with the county. So all of these documents are recorded with the county, and they require stamps. Let me go to one that doesn't have, let me tell you, there's doc stamps at the top of the page. Let me show you. So right here at the top where my pointer is, it has how much it costs. So that's $1,503 just to record it, because you record per page. mean, and it's over and over and over again. Do your research. The Diane Sawyer look is what we're after. Caroline Kennedy facelifts are nothing. All that cash will get Charlie and Donna now as some Raymond. I know. Spray cheese. Oh, it is the NFL playoffs. Well, I'm not going to be out long. 5 lawsuits from Harvey. Let's go see what Charlie's are. Just one. He was sued one time. That wasn't family law. And then it was dismissed with prejudice as well. If you go to, what was it, the Adelson Institute? Just one time. That's just in Broward. They may have sued him in another county. His insurance would have paid that $200,000 out. Correct. Correct. He has to carry malpractice insurance. Charlie's going to be having to fill up. I know. He did not have a current x-ray. Nope. And he's just digging. I did volunteer work when I was in Harrisburg for a company. It was called the Mission of Mercy. And they had, it was a doctor, a PharmD, so she had a pharmaceutical license. And they had an RV, and they would go around and do medical care for poor people. I mean, it was like 4 or 5 cities. I think they come to South Florida too now. It's called the Mission of Mercy. And I tried one day. I forget. It was horrible. I did one day of dental work, and I was like, I'm going to pass out. And I don't, they do in Lakeland. I don't think I really feel that way about a lot of things, but all that blood coming out of your mouth was a lot for me. I feel so bad for the patients that suffered. I know. I don't know that $200,000 is enough for me to drool the rest of my life. And I'm assuming she's drooling because her lips and chin is numb. Sonny says it's in the boy's name with Shelly tending to it. She is the mother, and those boys have that. Oh, okay. Okay. You're talking about the trust money. Yes. You'd be shocked how much a coin laundromat makes. I'm not shocked. I'm sad I don't own laundromats for that case. My husband's first wife, her brother owned a dry cleaning company in Tucasta or Palm Beach, one of the two. And he actually died of a heart attack at 40. And I always wondered if it was because of the dry cleaning chemicals. Hey, Mona says, is it really true Harvey lost money in that scheme? Apparently it is, because Charlie on the stand said his father lost a lot of money. Judy says, love my content. I'm recently retired. I can relate to you, especially the being nosy part. I have tons of time to obsess over crime. I don't know. It's really hard for me to just put it down sometimes. Sonny says, Miss Wee, but I still think they're doing something with it as an asset since she's the mother. I think so, too. I think so. I mean, she's entitled to some, but Shelly's entitled to some cash too, right? So Shelly's entitled to something. So let me show you some more. This is the second icon property. This is what it looks like, right? Is this it? Yeah, 20. So it's close to identical. It's just further up in the building. They're really close to being identical. And this is the other one they lived in. I love that pantry. I could handle a small kitchen if I had that kind of pantry. Who needs cabinets then? Love it. But I don't pretend to think the woman had good taste. That's for sure. Let's see, what else do I have? Is that all I had? This is the permit. Oh, I got to mark this off. Because it shows the address. I can't. Here's the mortgage on here's the mortgage that they have on the Brickell house. So this is, I mean, I'm sorry for the scroll, but I had to take the data out that makes sense. But on the condo that they live in now, this is the mortgage. He mortgaged it and bought it in March 9th, 2022, and the mortgage amount was $647,200. And they paid I gotta stop sharing again. I think they paid 1.7 for it, 1.2. He retires in 2022, right? So he retires in 2022 per his license, and they're able to buy this condo. So he has cash. He has cash somewhere. They bought the condo for 1.7. But the mortgage wasn't recorded till later. Isn't that odd? I find this also odd because usually, and it might be Miami. So depending on where we live in Leon County, things are recorded very quickly. But in Miami, it might take a few months to have something recorded because they had quite a few corrective deeds. Because the mortgage is here. Very odd. The mortgage is here, and that date, security interest is March 9, right? But here it says they bought it 12/29/2021 for 1.7, basically 1.9. And they bought it out of a bankruptcy trust, I think, right? Yeah. But to take 3 months to get something recorded is a long time to me. It is in Tallahassee, but it's not Miami-Dade. So when they recorded it, it was a different title company altogether. They used a title company, Coral Gables. The gentleman who previously owned it passed away. They bought it as themselves and then placed it into a trust, which is not unusual. They paid a lot for it. And in this case, the doc stamps were $10,740. So it was a very expensive transaction because it's $1.7 million. They could. I just don't see. I just think that they could have accounts. We don't see that. I just think they're mortgaged to the hilt. And it may be they're mortgaged and then they take money out. They mortgage it, take money out. It's hard to say. If you get a low interest rate, right? 2022 was not a low rate period. And that's a jumbo loan. Well, not really a jumbo loan because what's the limit? What was the limit on 2022 mortgage jumbo? I think the limits were higher. So they were under they were under the jumbo loan limit when they bought this property. So they would have been beneficial to them. So that's why they had to put so much down. Otherwise, their rate would have been very, very, very high. You'd not get a mortgage at their age? Really? You have age discrimination, Lassie. Can't do that here. That's what I was wondering. Like, he must have had a solid relationship with the lender because they will not do that. I mean, he's getting 1.7. She's not working, and he retired. So what income did they have? What income would they have had? His license expired in 22. He retired in 17, correct? That's true. He retired at 17 because of the media attention. His license was expired in 2022, but they got this loan in 2022. So he must have had a great relationship with SunTrust. You know what I'm saying? You had to have. Because how else would you get that? He has his mortgage was with, who was his mortgage with? United Wholesale Mortgage out of Michigan. But again, he had to pay another $3,000 to transfer it. So it's like $3,000 every time. Stocks and bonds, maybe. Yeah, I intend to watch the Charlie's restitution hearing. I don't think it's going to be a lot of money, though. No, I mean, it depends on that bank. Like, what was it? United, what did I say it was? United Wholesale, blah, blah. United Wholesale Mortgage. Every bank has different terms. Turn time 17 days. It's cheaper. They can do 1% down. What kind of loans do they do? Conventional US. They do everything. They do jumbo. I mean, it just depends on what their terms are. If a bank is holding the paper, meaning they're not selling it to Fannie or Freddie, which are the government combination type conglomerates, then they could do whatever they want. They could just use paper. They could only use deposits only. They could do whatever they want. If it's going to Fannie and Freddie, then it becomes more cumbersome. Yeah, nothing does seem impossible. I have no idea how much money they have, but I'd be interested to know. I mean, it just doesn't seem like, it seems like they waste a lot. For people who are, I don't know. I just think they're lousy business people. That's just me. I think he's a lousy business guy. Doesn't make any sense that all of that, the Adelson, let's go back, owner. I just don't own anything. Let's see, Adelson, Harvey. They just don't own anything. So bizarre to me. Even if you look at that even if you look at the icon, the other units that they own, it's just not, just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why, but the only paperwork I can find that they own in Miami, they bought in 2022, and that is where they live now on Brickell. That I don't know, because those contracts are private. They're not recorded. So Chloe wants to know how much did they sell the Adelson Institute for? That I don't know. What was the building address for that? Adelson Institute in Tamarack. Oh, that was 7737. That's Broward, right? That one, they did a lot of jacked up. That one's constantly going in and out of trust. Seven 737 University, right? Is Tamarack in it's Broward. 7737. Who owns that property? Oh, it was a condo. Well, it's a professional condo. They had the whole thing. Building 4. Huh. 7737. Does anybody know where that wouldn't come up? Here it is. My bad. I didn't put the north in. North. DaCosta. So that was just a condo that they owned. Just a condo. It was in Suite 207, and that one is now owned by 737 University Lending. It's owned by an LLC. It's probably owned by them. No, it's not. So they sold that at some point. They sold the 77207. When did they sell it? Woodmont Dental Holding. Woodmont Dental Holding. Was that them too? Does anyone know Woodmont Dental Holding? Yep, that was them. Woodmont Dental Holding owned the condo that housed the Adelson Institute, and that was sold $2021 for $400,000. So they don't own that property anymore. I found them. Thank you, T. I found them. They own 207, and they sold it in 9/29/2021 for $400,000. Mentor lawyer played the call that DR referenced in closing statements. That's where he heard it. It's all from Dan's stuff. They own the condo. They own 2 investment properties that are residential. And that's it that I can find. Rash loves Donna. I will finish that sentence the way he really means it. I love Donna going to New. Well, I'm sure they removed it from the door just because they didn't want people like us driving around looking at it. But it doesn't change it. It was 207. 207. Charlie's house on Tort. Is that one still for sale? Did anyone look it up? That one is still for sale. It's for sale. So they had it. So the Tortugas house, they listed it for 1,689.85. They had it for rent at the same time. Then they reduced the rent to 6,500 and reduced the price to 1,375, and they still can't get it rented or sold. Now it's 1,375 for the Tortugas house. Still ugly photos. I don't understand this. Do I think the Adelsons could have invested? Yeah, they can do whatever they want. They could be in Bitcoin. Yep, they could be in Bitcoin. They could be in, I mean, there's just no way to know because all of that's private. The neighbor on Tortugas is also for sale. Ooh, let me go look. Oh, I like that. There's one there at 1,600 square feet at 2424. That's a much prettier house. 1 story. That's a nice house. All done inside. That's 139. It's nice. And they've had that listed a while too. And that's a beautiful home. Will Harbor is just sitting there sucking up energy. Ha ha ha. Rash the great closer. He closed the door to Charlie's jail cell. She may be with the TVs, the $500 TVs. What did the houses in Charlie's neighborhood sell for? Let me see if there's any that have sold. Let me check on the property appraiser. I mean, you have to figure that the realtors know how much something costs and what it should be worth, but not always. They're just sometimes so excited to have a $1 million listing. Subdivision sales. One nearby sold in August for 1.4. That one sold for 149. Let's see what it looked like. Yeah, that was lush. It was a really nice house. Nicer than Charlie's, and that's just being realistic. One sold for 1.2. That's 25. If this gets taken down by YouTube, it will be on, because I'm saying addresses out loud. It will be on. Oh, that's a nice house too. And that sold for 103. So he's priced too high. I'm not an appraiser in Broward County right now, but he is, as a real estate agent, it looks like for his features and the benefits of the home, he's priced too high. I think he's probably priced another $200,000 too much, at least. Because there's not that many selling in the area, right? I mean, it just isn't. Well, it says it does in this listing. The one I just looked at, that was one. There was the one that was 103. It has a 95 feet of depth on the water with access on ocean access canal, no fixed bridges. So 95 feet is pretty deep. And that sold March for 1.2. This one, the other one sold at just over $1 million. It has a saltwater pool, bi-level patios, a roof deck, a dock, a 31-foot dock, speakers, infrared sauna. It's nice. 2020 roof. This looks really, really nice. And this sold for 1.4. So he is completely overpriced. You gotta look at this house. Hold on, I gotta somehow hide this stuff. You gotta see this house. I gotta put something in front of this so I could show you this listing. Hold on. It's gorgeous. Okay, won't let me close it anymore. I just want you to see this house. It's gorgeous. So let's say it like this. If you look it up, it's going to be, I'm going to say it in a funny way. Just look up 2s, and then you get 5s in there, and then some 1s and some 8s on Tortugas. It's nice. Like his photographs on this property are nice. Really, really nice. Like super duper nice. See, I could show you this. I'll snap it. He is so overpriced. Bless his heart. I have no sympathy when a realtor or a homeowner prices their home too high. So this is his comparison. That. Does that look like Charlie's house? I don't think so. I think it's gorgeous. I don't know what's up with these round loungewear kind of thing on a pool deck, but it is. Thanks, Dave. Living My Best Life says she thought it was funny in trial when Charlie said Wendy lived in a small apartment with her parents. They played down everything. Well, they did. They did live in a small apartment. That one on, let me get rid of this because I'll get in trouble. How big was it? I mean, well, small is relative, right? Small is relative. But the first unit they lived in was 2-bedroom, 2.5 baths. So then they went up to the other one, and that was 2,000 square feet. So then they move to a higher level in the icon. And that one was 1,500 square feet, 2-bedroom. And then, it just is so bizarre to me that they rented like that. Chlorine is very damaging and toxic. It's very low salinity. I agree. I like saltwater pools, but the salt will eat the sides of the pool off. It will eat the side of the pool. So you're never going to win. It's always expensive with a pool. It was no comparison with Charlie's. Bless that realtor's heart. There was no comparison. I'm sure the realtor is trying to get him to lower it or Harvey to lower it, but they have a lot going on. Can you imagine that conversation? Hey, Mr. Adelson, I know Charlie's serving life in prison, but could we get the price reduced? The condo fee? Yeah, it should. Hold on. Now, not back in the day, it won't. The icon fee when they were in the upper level unit, 26th floor, was $1,800 a month. $1,800. Good night. Night. Appreciate you guys. Evernet is going to bed in Europe. Donna went from having high security at her high-rise apartment to having security in prison. Yep. Loving this side of the miserable story. Thank you. Well, thank you. The tennis court were put in for Robert, and now look what that happened. Judge could easily arrest Maria. So I'm going to go because I have to get up early. I'm going to go to court in the morning, and I will let you know how it goes as soon as possible. But thank you all for watching while I fumble through the YouTube craziness of not allowing documentation. Let me see if there was anything else real quick, because I'd hate to go home and then realize. No, that was it. That's all I had. I think. Let me see if there was anything else. The deed. Yeah, why would I wish somebody could explain to me while you mortgage and you remortgage and you mortgage and you remortgage, even when you have money. Is what else still on here? I don't understand when you have a lot of money, why you would continue to do that. If you're not getting if you're not able to collect value out of the property and use it like an ATM, what's the point of continuing to do it? I don't know. But anyway, the hearing's at 10:30. I'm going to have my little phone and my little stick. I'm sorry, my neck hurts. I slept or hurt my neck somehow in the last couple of days. So I'm turning weird, but I apologize. So anyway, have a great night. Love you guys so much. Thank you. Have a good one. Well, I know they want cash, but at some point there's like, how much cash are you getting out of it? You're sucking it dry, literally. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.